Hugh Hefner, a true American icon, created an empire that was unrivaled.
Although some of his bunnies may have gone rogue, it's because of the love and respect that we received from the man behind it all.
The Rogue Bunnies mission is simple. 100 Playmates taking control of their valuable IP while honoring Hef's iconic Playboy style and bringing that experience to our collectors.
Like only we know how. Because after all, we did learn from the best.
Relive the stories from the most prominent celebrity home in history.
From those of us that lived it,
The employees that worked it,
and the guests who loved it.
And
the mayhem continues.
It's another party. All right, is everybody still like on high from last night or what?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm Brian Olea.
I'm Victoria Fuller.
Jennifer Pershing.
Scott Ramsey.
And we have in studio the lovely Donna Perry and Angel Boris, November 94 and July 96. Woo-hoo! Okay, so when we're talking about on high, last night, Metallica. Come on, guys.
Oh my
Bucket
gosh.
list for me.
Me too.
Thanks,
was it
Scott.
your first? Wait, was that your first?
It was.
It was mine too.
I
How was
mean,
it?
You guys both had your Metallica cherries pop last night, huh?
Yeah, it was this. Well, it was the first one I actually got to go to because I had tickets years ago, and Tom went. My husband went the first night, and the second night he didn't want to go. So, but it
Metallica was my first concert ever.
Oh, I did not know that.
Blew my ears out. I had
Yeah.
ringing for days after that.
Gosh.
You know, it's funny when people think about Playmates, right? Which are now bunnies, right? We are bunnies forever, meaning you ladies, not me. But you know, people go, oh yeah, Metallica. People just don't realize you ladies are into rock and roll.
Oh my
You guys
God.
love rock,
man.
and I'm like going, yeah, the girls are going to be at Metallica. They go, really? I didn't think that would be their scene. I'm like, yeah.
Half of the Bunnies' offspring are from hard, heavy metal bands.
yeah.
Well, my middle son happens to be a huge Metallica fan, so it was a surprise that we pulled off for him.
Oh, that's right. You didn't tell him what it
No,
was.
he
right?
had no
Right
idea.
on.
What show
didn't
did he
even
think he was
know.
going to?
He thought we were going to see some like small little band that we know that was performing with a bunch of other up and coming musicians,
gotcha.
and he was so confused the whole time. Even like, where is it? Wait, where are we going? And we get into the parking lot, and he still has no idea.
Wait,
So
he
it
didn't even
was-
figure out like with all the lines of like
No,
the
because
traffic
we
was
parked.
insane.
We parked in a parking garage like 20 minutes away.
Oh, okay.
And I told him it was somewhere near the Forum at a private event. And then when we got there and we parked and everything, we're like, here, change into this shirt. And he's like, wait, why are you filming me? What's going on?
Right on.
And it was just so funny. He was like, where are we, bro? And he's like, I don't know. Where are we?
It's like mom's acting weird. Yeah.
We're like, we're in Inglewood. He's like, no fucking way. Like he went
Inglewood.
nuts. He went nuts because he knew the show was last night. And he had asked several times throughout a couple months, can we go, please, please? I'm like, no, I'm sorry. It's too expensive.
That was pretty.
So it was
sick.
pretty
That
fun.
I wasn't expecting to go. And
No,
I
it
got
was like a
last-minute
surprise for
call
you.
from Brett, and unfortunately, his girlfriend. She's also, in the podcast world, and her boss had called her in to do a show and said, "You can't miss it." And I felt so bad because we all met
manifested
up at
that to
we all
happen
met.
for her.
We were
Yeah.
here at the Del Taco last night, right? We're at the Del
Yeah.
Taco. I go, I don't know if I should apologize and say I'm
be
so
like,
sorry, or give you a big hug and say thank you. And I go, you know what I mean? But she was so cool. She was really cool. And
That's
she goes, no, I'm
awesome.
glad that you're going because, I know
needed
you
to
and
be
Brett are
there.
going to have fun. It was.
I
we
wish I
got that
could have
great photo
seen you.
and-
I mean, I've seen him so many times, and I'm telling you, I'm like a little kid. I go right back to
go back to
being that kid.
1980s.
I go back to the first album, Kill 'Em All.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I was,
I mean,
Seek and Destroy.
it's
I was
like
blown
40
away that they
years
played
they've
it.
been together, he was saying last
42.
night, right?
That's
crazy.
amazing.
42 years, and they had met in Norwalk. Down the street from there. You know what I mean? It's like,
Insane.
what
Yeah.
the heck? I mean, that's when Lars came up. And they all,
Yeah.
that was really cool. Do you remember at the end? They
Yeah.
all
Oh,
said
she left
thank
early.
you.
I left
they said
early.
thank you to each member went
Yeah.
up and said thank you.
Yeah.
Like, and they were so grateful for what they've been a part of. Even, Rob, Rob, Scott, Rob Trujillo personally. And it was so cool to just see all of them just be so just humble.
But that's what the bands like that stay for so long are always the grateful ones.
Yes,
The ones that
of
really
course.
exude, like, they're thankful for their fans and they do it for their fans, and that's what keeps the fans coming back. Because
Yes.
you can
And
tell
I
when you go to a
heard-
show
yeah.
and people are just all about for themselves and like peace out, like have a good night, and you're like, I don't really.
Well,
feel
I also
anything.
heard that Metallica loves to perform. Like that's like what they live for. So
that energy. And
it was
Yeah.
insane.
I've never.
I
Like,
know.
We all know I'm a Dave fan. Like Dave Matthews Band is my thing.
Dave,
but
who? Who?
If only he was performing sometime soon.
Well, it is Dave Day today. I don't think I've ever experienced a concert where everyone's vibe
Oh, it was
was
so-
it was
yeah.
every ounce.
How do they
of-
still have voices?
I don't know.
How can they still even speak at this
I
point?
mean, I
I
think
know.
it's like
It's
a muscle.
vocal-
It just
it's vocal
gets
training.
stronger. I'm
It's vocal
sure.
training.
so
really
harsh
is.
though.
But-
It's like
But there wasn't a lot of singing. It's like the
Yeah.
the musicality
It's the music.
of everything.
Yeah, and my son
Yeah.
knew every single song.
Oh,
Right.
that's amazing.
Oh, that is awesome.
Every single
They
song.
were, I mean,
I can love that.
they were hitting
They
off
wanna go Sunday
all
now,
the
too.
old stuff off all the
Yeah.
old albums.
Yeah.
They were hitting Master of Puppets. They were doing Kill 'Em All. They were doing Ride the Lightning. I mean,
Yeah.
just I was just like, because most people all think of like
love
the
these
Black
titles.
Album.
Yeah.
The Black Album. You're right.
Right?
But and I'm glad they did some new stuff. That was really
Yeah.
cool because 72 Seasons is sick.
Yeah.
It is sick. But like you said, Metallica was your first show.
it was my first show. It was in Bakersfield. I was 19.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was with a newer boyfriend, and we all drove in a car. I think it was up to Fresno, actually. We all drove to Fresno, and I remember we parked in the parking lot, and the music was going, and it was so loud. I was thinking, I don't know. Like this sound. I was afraid. It was so powerful.
Yeah. Well, the mosh pits were probably legit back then too.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and I
man.
remember going in.
Yes, they were.
And it was so much that I was exhausted. Like after half an hour, I was like, "Oh my god, I can't." And I went back and I sat in the car and waited because I couldn't. It was so. It
See,
was
I was
so much.
like vibing off of that. Like
was like,
everyone's
yeah.
heads are just
Oh,
banging
yeah.
like this, and everyone's like this, and I'm like, this is amazing.
yeah, no, it's definitely amazing,
wanna
but
do
it
this
was like
every day.
so intense. It was just like and my ears were ringing like
Yeah.
you couldn't believe. Like,
Well, that's when you know you went to a good show.
I can't hear anymore. But Metallica was more newer at that point. That was a little while ago, and so they were fairly new at that time. They hadn't hit as big as they weren't mainstream at that time.
Yeah.
They were
Enter
still.
Sandman hadn't come out yet, right?
I don't know.
Because
I
Enter
just
Sandman's what made them mainstream.
Yep.
yeah, I just remember like I don't like a lot of people didn't really know about them, but they were definitely up and coming. But they were so hard. It was kind of a newer rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We weren't
yeah.
kind of used to that. I grew up with punk rock, so I like punk rock, but this was like another level of whatever.
What would you say your favorite punk rock band was?
I liked True Religion, and I was
You
in
mean
the
Bad
Nard.
Religion? Not the clothing
Oh, yeah,
line, True
that-
Religion?
You're right, Bad Religion. See, that's how long ago it was. Oh my God, Black Flag. But I was in the Nardcore. There was a thing called
okay.
Nardcore,
Yeah, yeah.
and I lived in Oxnard area. So yeah, I was in that whole scene. So as 14 and 15-year-old, I was going to these punk concerts. I was
Scott's
crazy.
putting his chest out there, holding up his T-shirt.
Last option. That was Black Flag's opening act on their last tour.
Oh my God.
That's sick. man.
Wow.
Unplanned. Do you see that?
Yeah,
Nice.
that was
Not
cool.
only do you come up with witty stuff like out of your brain, you just happen to be wearing the clothing for the conversation.
That was pre-planned. That had to.
That must be.
Yeah, that was.
My first Metallica show was at the Forum. My little sister asked me to take her. She was turning, I think it was her 20th birthday, 21 maybe. And so this is about 30 years ago. I wasn't into it. I didn't know who they were really. I was into the punk and going into a lot of the K-rock, the new wave. But I made a couple of phone calls, and we had Snake Pit passes. Dead set.
yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what I'm in for, but I'm right. And it was. I walked out of that show a dedicated Metallica fan.
Wow.
It blew my mind.
So wait, so the inside circle, that's the snake pit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my
That gave me
introduction.
anxiety because
Yeah.
I always have to have like my where's the bar, where's the bathroom, like for those moments where like I don't know this song,
Well-
so I'm gonna pee and get a new drink, and I'm just thinking these people are in the middle, like can they leave? Or are they allowed
Well,
to-
also like
Dangerous.
the way they just mosh that freaks me out because
Yeah.
I
That's
still want to
the
get
best
like hit. Well, I get it for the
Yeah, you
young
get sucked in
ones,
the
but
but like
There were like little
I'd
mini
just be
mosh
like
pits,
over there
but they were
scared
just
to like
kinda,
get
like,
hit in the face.
tapping each other, like just
Well-
for old times. Like,
Right?
Yeah, this is
I
the
remember
weirdest
the
thing.
old days when the mosh pits were literally like people pulled
Yeah.
out on
Yeah,
stretchers. Like
you broke your nose.
it was
Yeah, ribs.
literal
my God.
mosh
Ridiculous.
pit.
Yes.
Like the wall. What was
Yes.
it called? The wall of death that they used to
Yep,
do. Now
circle
you're not allowed
jerks,
to do it.
Buzzcocks.
Where they
all that.
literally
Ah.
they're coming back with it from what I heard. But like it's literally
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everyone
on
gets
each
together
side,
and
and they go, they just go,
each other,
boom.
the wall of death.
Well, that
Oh
could.
my God.
Well, as
And it
Jen
was like-
says, when you were in the mosh pit, sometimes you got to know where to go to the bathroom and where to get a drink. So
Yes.
why don't we take a bathroom break and a drink break?
There we go.
sounds good to me.
We've got a lot more to talk about.
Oh,
We
yes.
are paying homage to Metallica because last night was freaking awesome, and I got some fun stories of them being at the mansion. Yep, that's your tease. We'll be right back. You are listening to Rogue Bunnies Mayhem.
This is Jennifer Pershing, Miss March 2009 and Series 1 Rogue Bunny with exciting news. You can now purchase a VIP pass to our Rogue Mansion 2.0 party at the Westgate Las Vegas on September 14th. You'll mix and mingle with me and 17 gorgeous Rogue Bunnies, enjoy food in an open bar, and live entertainment. Plus, each pass sold to the public comes with a chance of winning a gift bag valued at $10,000, including a painting by Victoria Fuller of Hugh Hefner, signed by Hugh Hefner. Only 100 public tickets are being sold, so the odds of winning are great. Visit mansion.roguebunnies.com to secure a pass before it's too late. See you in Vegas.
Welcome to the metaverse.
All right, Jen, did you get enough drink? You found your...
I'm
you're
good to go.
All good to go? You ready to go? So I just want to point out, so Brett and I, again, Brett, I'm just so thankful to Brett. Brett is our actual Oz. He is the man behind the curtain. He's the man that makes all the magic happen. And he said, dude, my girl can't come. You want to come? So we just bonded. because we're both metal fanatics. And I wanted to see Pantera. Could not believe that. That was so sick last night. But when Metallica was coming on, we're back and forth with Jen texting because we're like, we all got to meet up. We all got to meet up. And I like how earlier you were just saying like the energy, like I don't know what this song is, but the energy.
Yeah.
But prior to that, while we're at the Del Taco, where were you?
So he texts me. He's like, we should meet at Del Taco and we'll walk over. Like, I was like, okay, but we're going to go early because Scott was so nice to get me tickets to go to the show. But then we sort of realized yesterday that we know someone who works in food and beverage for like Live Nation, and he went to high school with us. So we just randomly reached out and he's like, when you get there, like text me what your seats are. We'll come get you. So they come and get us. The general manager of SoFi Stadium comes and gets us and gives us passes to go to the owner's lounge for like free drinking and free food.
Me.
He's like, wait a minute, what?
So I was like, this is okay. So I'm just, getting on my, Casamigos.
You're like, this is great.
This is fantastic. And then like my husband goes, that's Jason Momoa. I'm like, what? And I look up and it's Jason Momoa just getting
my
charcuterie.
God. Oh my
5
God.
feet from me, just like selecting his meats and cheeses. And I'm like,
I've been trying
what
to
is my
manifest him.
life? What is my life right now, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm just, and
Compliment
I text
Jason
Brian.
Momoa on his meat.
His charcuterie.
It's charcuterie. So that was a moment for me. And of course, Brian's like, well, get him on the show. I'm like, yeah, I'm not drunk enough for that. No, I'm not walking up to anybody. Like,
But you got a nice picture of his ass.
I
Yeah.
What?
I was like, if anyone doesn't believe
did
me,
I say
that's him over there. That's where the prime rib's being sliced. Like, that's him right there. No, because
He's
Who else
hunched
was up
over
there?
the
Who else was
buffet.
So, and then I went up to get a second round of drinks, which then I realized I need to just be up and eyes everywhere because you just don't know who's up here. So, like 3 seats over at a very empty bar was Steven Dorff. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what is going on? So they're like, come meet us. And I'm like, I'm not leaving here till Metallica comes on. Like,
Come down with the peasants.
I mean, because we had to take all these weird secret elevators to like get to these. I never would have found it. So I
Very
got
cool.
my
Smart
buzz
girl.
going.
Yeah. Take advantage of that.
And then we met up before the show started. But I'm like, what is my life right now? I'm texting all my friends. I'm like, no big deal. Just Jason Momoa's right next to me, and there's 6 people in the room. Like, what is my life?
But again, as
I miss
we were
LA.
saying, like the guys are so humble, so freaking humble, and it makes me so happy because I have some really cool stories from when they were at the mansion.
Ooh.
So I remember, I started there in '96. I think it was in '98. Do you remember the movie Basketball?
Yeah.
Okay, basketball.
Trey Parker
Yeah,
and- yeah, the-
thank you. Yeah, exactly.
the South Park boys.
guys.
Yeah.
Right. So they were doing their DVD release party. So John Luther, who was the GM, calls me and he goes, "Hey, can you come to the office?" And I'm all, "What's up?" And he goes, "Yeah, you're in a band. You know, you like music. We have a band coming here, and they need to hire a PA for them for the weekend. Would you be willing to do it?" And I'm like, "Sure, I don't care. What's the name of the band?" I believe it was pronounced how, Scott?
Metallica.
So I'm looking at John and I'm like going, "Excuse me?" And he goes, "Well, have you heard of them?" And I'm like, "You're joking with me, right? You're messing with me." And he just starts laughing and he goes, "Yeah, Metallica's coming here."
Oh my
And I'm like,
gosh.
for one, the Metallica was just funny, but
And you had to sit
and
there.
I'm like,
and probably they were
and I'm
fanning
going,
you. I
"What
need a
the
cool
hell?"
rag.
And he goes, "All right, you're not going to be hired through Playboy. That weekend you're coming in. I had to sign paperwork. I
Wow.
was literally hired by Metallica
That's cool.
for that weekend."
Wow. What'd you have to do?
So I was their
Yeah, that
personal
was
PA.
fun.
They needed someone at the mansion that knew how all the workings of the mansion
Right.
that could be their directive, right?
Okay.
So the party I believe was on a Sunday. So it's Saturday they're all coming in, okay? And we're getting set up for sound check. Check this out, right? I love this. Oh, I'm getting chills, right? Oh, look at the hair. See, I'm not lying. Look at it right there.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
so
love it.
there it is. You know, Bob Rock shows up, a couple of their road crew. Bryant, one of the butlers, he
Yeah.
was there. I'm trying to remember who the other night butler was. I don't know if sure it was Jameson or not, but anyway, it was just, that was it. And it was at night, and the guys start showing up one by one. James starts showing up, Lars starts showing up, you know what I mean? Kirk's there, and no Jason. Jason Newsted was the bass player at the time,
Yeah.
right? You'll see, like in the documentary that came out later, that there was a feud between, you know, they were having a hard time with Jason and James, and James was going through his own stuff. He talks about it. I'm not talking
Yeah.
shit on him. He was going through his own personal stuff, and this was what was going on at that time. Right?
wow.
So he's getting pissed. What? Do we got to go find another bass player? And Bob Rock's trying to calm everything down. Like, look, I'll play bass. Jason's on his way. You know what I mean? Long story short, Brian, Jason's at the front. So I go running out there, grab him, and he's all stressed out. They lost his luggage.
Oh my
Okay?
God.
And he had some stuff that was in the luggage that he was really pissed off they didn't have any longer. And I'm like, "Don't
Yeah.
worry, our social security, social secretary, Joni Mattis. She had him all. Don't worry, she smokes. She'll take care of you." So he goes, "Oh, okay. I'll go. She'll calm you down."
I see.
Yeah.
Oh,
So oh wait, it's all legal now. So he was
Yeah.
missing his pot. So they get him back. I'm like, "Get over there, dude. Got to get you on stage." Get him on stage, right? And now James won't look at Jason. So Bob's like, "Okay, guys, let's play something." And Jason's there to go, "So what do you want to play?" James looks at me, and we'd already met. We'd already talked and met and everything and got out there and stuff. And he goes, "Hey, Brian, you know our stuff. What do you want to hear?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, my mind is going, "Did you just really just ask me this?" I'm like,
I can't even.
Oh my God.
I
no.
just got chills.
First
If I was
favorite
asked
song,
that question,
favorite song of my entire
God.
life. Off Kill 'Em All, Seek and Destroy.
Yeah.
He looks at me and he goes, "Well, you want the old shit. All right." Boom. Play it. Looks at me. What next?
Wow.
Master of Puppets. Boom.
my
What
God.
next? I had my own Metallica jukebox.
Stop it.
No way.
You're just like, you've just leveled up for me like times 10.
I don't think anyone's ever had that.
No.
No.
I mean, really think about it. No matter where they play, right?
Wow.
It was that situation that created that, and I'm just like floored, right?
Yes.
I've gotten to hang out with the guys through the weekend. Really got coolest dudes ever. I mean, talk about humble. And these were like my idols. Like I looked up to these guys. I think earlier someone was saying, "How does he keep doing that?" I mean,
Yeah.
he's got a very harsh style of singing. People don't realize he's vocally trained.
Yeah.
In the beginning, he probably wasn't, but
Yeah.
like when I got to hang out with the guys, there's James in the back room, like the red room, you know, the red and blue room.
Yeah.
He's back there going, going through it all. I'm going, "No freaking way! James Hetfield is doing like vocal
Yeah.
training,
Oh my
and he's
gosh.
coming out and he's stretching his vocals and everything to sing like that."
Well, they're
There's a technique.
professional athletes.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
in many
They're
regards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Which, by the way, we need to talk about the way Robert plays bass.
Oh, Robert
He's like an
Hill.
MMA fighter out there, right? The way he moves.
It was so entertaining. Like, it's just, I appreciate musically, like, people who can play instruments because I think that's like not everyone can do that.
Yeah.
And to be able to do that in front of
And
all
be a
these
showman
exactly.
on top of it.
And they all just seemed like they were such in their element and they loved it and they all wanted to be there. And that just makes for such a different experience.
So they're getting ready to come out and play. And I lead the boys out. They're getting ready to go on stage, and I go up to Joe Piastro, right? Bill Bates was still there, so it was Bill Bates and Joe Piastro, and they're with Hef. And you know how he wants to be at the front of the stage, okay?
Yes.
Oh,
That's
no.
it. I go up to Joe, and I go, right, okay, right? So I'm like, Joe,
see it,
dude,
right?
I know the bosses want to go to the front of the stage. Don't let it happen. What do you mean, don't let it happen? You know he's going to want to go. No, you don't understand. There's going to be a mosh pit. Well, what's a mosh pit? You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, well,
Right?
when the band breaks out, everyone's going to go in this circle and they're going to be bumping into each other, right? It's like playing roller derby. Okay, that's the best way I can explain it.
Yeah,
And
it
he goes,
looked like that.
that's not going to happen here. I'm like, oh, it will. There's no way Metallica's playing and people aren't going to do this.
Yep.
People aren't sitting down and watching.
I don't believe this. So anyway, they take the boss right to the front of the stage. Okay? Freaking Metallica comes on. They get staged. The place is all hyped up. Boom. Bam. They break out. I believe the first song was Fuel, right? Give me fuel. Give me fire. Give me power. Next thing you know, bam, you look over at the boss, and he's got like these wide eyes like, what the heck is going on? You know what I mean? Next thing you know, they're right around him.
Everyone grabs an arm, a leg, and they just carry him out, right?
They're swarming him through. The freak. A matter of fact, one of our kitchen staff got fired that day, and he don't care. Because he goes, I was not missing this opportunity. He's jumping in, and this guy was like 5'40". He's like 6'8" or whatever, big guy in the mosh pit. Everyone's in there breaking out, and they're bringing out the boss, and he's just like confused, you know. And it was so cool, and they jammed it out.
That was the last time you
I
rocked
laughed my
the
ass off. I just thought,
But you didn't. It wasn't like you didn't tell them.
no. Do you know what I mean?
Hey,
But,
Don't go up
but
front.
imagine what's going through the boss's mind, right?
right?
It's like,
What is
what is
happening?
up with this kid's music? Why are they beating up on each other?
What is this? What's going on?
But it was they were loving it. It's like fighting on purpose.
Yeah, it was so
Totally.
wild.
Fighting
We
with
had
a purpose.
No
binoculars.
sense.
So it was like watching all the little circles.
Yeah, they had multiples
There was
last night at the show. Yeah.
it was so wild.
It was cool to see people doing the old school too, because I could see
Yeah.
some of the like these old school Cholo homeboys that are in there,
really
they're, like,
Yeah.
getting into it. They got their arms out and flaying, and I'm like, oh man, you're bringing me back.
Well, how fast can you move with a walker? That's what I mean.
So
Yeah, tell us about
Pretty
the
fast,
guest
apparently.
the game house.
Game house. I'm
Game
telling
house.
you,
Oh yes.
we're gonna have to take a break. Well, I
So close.
swear we're gonna jump in. We're gonna jump in. We'll be right back. You are listening to Rogue Bunnies Mayhem.
Hey guys, this is Raquel Pomplum, Playmate of the Year 2013 and Gold Genesis Rogue Bunny with exciting news. Have you ever wondered what the mansion parties were like? Well, we have the next best thing in Vegas, baby! Purchase passes to our Rogue Bunnies Mansion 2.0 party in the Verona Sky Villa at the West Gate on September 14th. You'll mix and mingle with me and 15 gorgeous Rogue Bunnies. Enjoy food, drinks, and music in an epic setting. Just visit mansion.roguebunnies.com to secure a pass before it's too late. See you in Vegas.
Welcome to the metaverse.
Spoke too soon, Scott.
We have
And we're back.
Here we are.
I say we leave that all in. So I was saying
Game house,
before,
game house,
we're at
game
the
house.
game house. Metallica's just played. I told you the whole thing. The boss, tripping out on a mosh pit. So now we're back. The guys are getting to relax. James, and I already told James, I was in a band and this whole stuff. And matter of fact, he says, hey, so what do you do? I play rhythm and I sing. And he goes, what the you still in my shit? And I go, kind of. It was really cool. We joked around. It was fun. So now we're sitting there. James is outside with Bob Rock out on the patio area. and it's Kirk and it's Lars. Now, Lars had his personal assistant there, right? It's crazy when you see his trunk of multiple shoes. Like when you say about being an athlete, bro, like there was literally like 20, 25 pairs of the same shoe.
Oh, wow.
Like all there. And he has to keep all these things lined up and everything. And so we've had some cool conversation what it's like to go on the road with him. So next thing you know, I'm sitting there talking to that guy, and Lars goes, "Hey, Brian, how do you like this gig?" I go, "I love it. I'm working for Hugh Hefner and the Playboy Mansion. It's a blast, And he goes, "Yeah, I can tell you're very professional and you know what you're doing. What do you say? How'd you like to work for me?" And I'm like,
Whoa.
"What?
Whoa.
What? Wait, what?" Right?
Yeah.
And what he doesn't realize is when Lars said that, just prior, I was sitting with Kirk. And Kirk goes, "I'm looking for a PA.
Wow.
You want to come on the road with me, man? I think it'd be cool." He's like a really cool, down, little fun guy.
Oh my
He's just
God.
cool. And I'm like, okay, Kirk just had this conversation with me. Now there's Lars saying this. So now Kirk walks back in to the
Now they're
area.
fighting over you.
And
There's-
Kirk
hold up, I asked
just
first.
heard Lars. Right? He goes, "Hey, wait a minute. No.
No.
I just asked Brian."
Wow.
And I'm like going, "What the frick is going on right now?"
What is your
And he
life
goes,
in this
and he goes,
moment?
"No,
Oh
dude,
my
no. And he
God.
goes, "Well, come on. Why not?" And he goes, "Dude, you already have," and I forgot his name. You have so-and-so. I don't have anyone. I've been needing to look for a guy. And I'm like, are these guys really freaking fighting over me?
Wow.
I'm like, okay, this is kind of tripping me out, right? So they're, and I go, "All right, cool, guys, let me think about it." I go, I got to get some air. I go outside. There's James and Bob Rock. So I'm like, "Hey, James," and he's not drinking. This is what he's saying. He's not drinking.
Right.
So, I'm taking care of him as they, cleaning up around him and anything I can get for you guys. You know what I mean? We got some, food and stuff in there. Not as probably as fancy charcuterie as Jason Momoa was freaking, doing. But, I'm like, "Hey, I got some
The
food."
food at the mansion was pretty good, though. I have to say.
Yes,
But, I'm taking care of the guys. And then all of a sudden, James looks to Bob and go, "Hey, Bob, what do you think about Brian?"
Oh, no.
And I'm like, "What?" And he goes,
no.
"And I'm like, this can't be happening." And he goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, you said we needed to find someone. We're getting
my
ready for
God.
that big tour. Dude, what do you think, man? You want to come on
having
tour with us?"
anxiety for you
And I'm
right
like,
now.
whoa, wait a minute. Kirk, Lars, and now so either be personals for those guys or go be for work for the band.
So they had a meeting that morning and said,
I'm saying they
top of the agenda, poach somebody from the Playboy Mansion.
let's with Brian, right? I'm like, this is the
Like, was
ultimate
this when
gag,
Punk'd was
right?
happening? Because this
Right?
seems like an episode of Punk'd.
This can't be, right?
So I go back into the
Ashton?
game house, right? And James is standing there by the pool table. And after, I've given it like 10, 15 minutes, I thought about it. And I walk up to James and I go, "Hey, can I talk to you?" And he goes, "Yeah, what's up, man?" And he goes, "I thought a lot about what you said, and I'm so grateful. I'm like, wow, I can't believe an opportunity like this, but I'm going to have to say no." And he looks at me like, "No." And I go, "Look, I already told you I'm in a band. If I do this, I'm leaving the mansion. That means I'm leaving my band. That means I'm going to go live your life.
Yeah.
That means I'm giving up the opportunity to live my life."
How profound.
And he was so freaking cool. He looked at me and he goes, "I respect that, man." And we shook it out and everything is cool. I'm all, "Thank you, dude." And I think that moment created something there. It was just so cool. I just couldn't believe it. It was a surreal moment that a year later, a Limp Bizkit kid.
Fred Durst.
Fred Durst.
Durst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Limp Bizkit kid. What did I just say? Anyway, they're doing this thing with MTV at the mansion.
I remember
a year
that,
later.
yeah.
Remember that party?
Yep.
And all of a sudden, I get a phone call, and Hef is missing something from his sundries cabinet, right? Whatever it is. "Brian, run out to Rite Aid and go get this right away." I go running out to Rite Aid over on Wilshire Boulevard, right? I think it's by Doheny.
Yep.
And I go dashing over there while they're setting up this party. And I go in, and I'm walking down the aisle, and who the hell do I see?
No.
Fred Durst.
No. James Hetfield.
Wow.
James Hetfield is right there. I look down, I go, "James?" You know what I mean? And he's standing there looking at all this stuff, and he looks at me, and this is what's mind blown. He goes, "Playboy Mansion.
Wow.
Your name's Brian."
Wow.
I'm like, "The dude knows my freaking name a year later, right?"
Wow.
And I'm like going, "What are you doing here?" And he goes, "Oh, man, I just got my first ink." The first tattoo he just got,
wow.
he was there to get
wow.
ointment And he had just flown in from Frisco to meet up with a friend, and he was down the street, and he goes, and I'm like, dude, come up to the mansion. I'll get you on the list, whoever you want to bring. And so I told him about it. He goes, well, I don't know if I can, but cool, thanks. I put it on. He didn't show up. But now, years go by. Remember when, what's his name, from Chris Cornell had his tribute?
Yeah.
He just played the Forum. I wanted to go to the show. I couldn't. So me and my buddy Titus, we did another show with Titus and Lauren, for the Girls Next Door show.
Yeah.
So me and my buddy Titus and his brother Benj were at Cantor's in the middle of the night at 11 o'clock. This is surreal when you talk about our worlds. Like you're saying, Jen, are we living this?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there eating Cantor's at like 11:30 going on near midnight. And out of the corner of my eye, I see a tall guy walk in with a cowboy hat. And I look at Titus and I go, no freaking way. He's like, what? And I go, I think James Hetfield just walked in the door. It's just a standing figure,
It's like the universe kept throwing this in your face.
Like, hello.
Jen.
You're not answering.
I'm like, I got to go do this. Victor, I walk over and there's James and it's just a friend of his. I don't know if he's a roadie or whatever.
I promise.
Right? I just walk up and go, dude, I'm not here to bug you. You probably definitely don't remember me. It's been so long. But back around, I think it was 98, you played the Playboy Mansion, and his eyes light up. I'm like, yeah, I was the PA that took care of you guys. Brian, anyway. Dude, I just want to say thank you again. It's the highlight of my life. Aww. It's just amazing. And I'm loving that, you guys keep going. You're so humble. And I just want to say thank you. He's turns into this giddy kid. Aww. And I'm like, I'm going to leave you guys alone because I don't want anyone else to draw attention to know he's there. And next thing you know, I'm hearing as I'm walking away, what? The Playboy? Oh, yeah, it was really cool, man. The peacocks were going off and all the birds were screaming and yelling and the monkeys because when they started jamming.
Oh, yeah, they started playing.
So last night, being at Metallica, I still flashback on all that stuff.
How could you not?
Yeah.
Right?
I wish the universe would just throw Dave Matthews in there. You're just at Rite Aid. There's Dave. There's Dave. Hey.
He's probably been standing behind you in line. You just didn't know.
I'm oblivious. I'm on my cell phone. He's probably just following me around.
Yeah, probably is.
So it's cool when we love music. We love those that have inspired us.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I'm excited that the parties like we had at the Playboy Mansion that you ladies are continuing on.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
With Rogue
Yes.
and we got a big party coming up in
going
Vegas.
We do.
Mansion 2.0.
Yeah, so I'm very excited because one of the things that we were doing with our project was we were doing metaverse, we were doing all these things, and we had some in real life kind of events, and they were such a hit. I was like, I really miss the mansion, and I really miss the vibe about the mansion and the people and getting together and the girls having a place to go. And so that kind of spawned the idea of why don't we just recreate the mansion? I mean, who taught us better than Hugh Hefner on how to throw a really good party? Mm-hmm. So we're going to have our first Mansion 2.0 party in Las Vegas, September 14th.
And how do people get to go?
People get to go by going to mansion.roguebunnies.com. And you could get passes there. There's only 100 tickets are going to be available. It's going to be a very intimate party. Only 250 people allowed at the Verona Sky Villa at the Vegas, in Vegas at the Westgate. And it's where Elvis used to stay when he had his residency there. Cool. So it's very historical and the perfect place for us to get started.
Well, I've seen pictures of it. That place looks sick.
It's amazing. It's the penthouse. It's a villa. It's a penthouse. It's 15,000 square feet with a pool in the middle, and it's it's beyond. So we're gonna be there, and we're gonna definitely pillow fight it out the night.
All you ladies are gonna be there, right?
Yep.
Yes,
I'm working on it.
She's
Come
working
on,
on
Donna.
it. We're trying.
We've been talking, and I'm
Damn
like,
it, Donna!
I'm going to work. I'm going to leave early. I'm going to take a flight. You're going to pick me up right before the party. That's when I'm going to decide if I'm going to go to work the next day or if I'm going to
You're not going to work the next day.
No,
many
we will
girls are gonna
have.
be there?
But I really...
We have 15 plus Rogue Bunnies.
Yeah,
that will be
15
there.
plus Rogue Bunnies are going to be there, and probably more than that. There's a couple girls that live in Vegas and other girls that have been invited to come, and so it's going to be really exciting. And there's lots of influencers. There's some celebrities. We're not allowed to name names.
Oh,
but
come on.
I know.
I just want to
No
do
hints?
I want to do the
No.
math here. Capacity is 250 people.
Yep.
Only 100 tickets are available to the general public.
Yes.
So that means the other 150 people are
Super cool people.
Rogue bunnies, celebrities.
Rogue bunnies, celebrities, influencers.
And a little tie-in between Metallica and our party. We're going to have Terry Harris in there. And if I remember correctly, she once told a story about going shot for shot with Lars.
Oh.
So that's very cool.
I bet he lost.
I think she said he did.
Yeah. It's going to be a dangerous night. I'll just say that.
Well, that's awesome. Again, Jen, how does everybody find out about tickets?
You go to mansion.roguebunnies.com, or you can follow us on all social media at the Rogue Bunnies, because we like to let you all know what's going on all the time. So if you're ever in doubt, come on over to our socials, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, whatever it's called now, Facebook.
And tickets are going fast. I mean,
Tickets are
there's not
going
a lot of
fast. There's
time.
only
There's
100.
not a lot of
And
time.
yep, and we just put them out. So don't forget to go to mansion.roguebunnies.com and get yours. Or
That's
be
it,
square.
guys. You want to be part. You want to have the stories like we just talked
Yes.
about. I'm telling you, you're gonna have stories that you'll be telling for a lifetime.
And we'll be there too.
Yes.
So you can jump on the podcast.
And
say
yeah,
hi
we'll be
too.
doing the show there. We'll be doing the show from there. So come on out. It's gonna be a blast. I'm telling you. Yeah, it's gonna be a memory that you'll keep for the rest of your life. Well, guys, that was fun.
It was fun.
Yay!
Yay!
I think it's time for another bar break and a pee break. Well, that's what Jen would say.
Definitely.
You had me at bar.
Ditto, girl, ditto.
All right, we are Rogue Bunnies Mayhem, and
The mayhem continues.
That was cute. I like that.